welcome. Thanks for joining me today. It's been a long time since I've been sitting in this chair or here live with you. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to kind of answer some questions and kind of, get the questions answered out there that you are wondering. And a lot of them are about the little rebel. Some of them are about tension issues. Others are about what you need to get started quilting. And so we're going to jump in and answer those in just a minute. I want to thank Teresa from Illinois. Thanks for joining me today. And hello from Arkansas. And then from sunny Central Florida, Belinda Brine and Angela. She's from from LA. And anyway, I cannot say it today. I've just spent 2 weeks in Houston, Texas at the International Quilt Market and Festival. That was an awesome experience. Getting to meet some of you out there. Oh, God, you guys are so wonderful. And it's just my pleasure to meet you all the time and get to know you and see your beautiful faces. That's the other exciting thing, is that when you come up and introduce yourself, it's more me getting to know you than you getting to know me. I just really appreciate it. So thank you for joining me. Okay, so we have a lot of questions here. And before we get any further up the chair, I wanted to answer sweet Belinda Brine's because, she had a question about her Cutie frame. And then Britta, she also had one. So I'm going to answer Belinda's first. And she says, hello, I've just got my Cutie frame and she hasn't set it up yet. And now, I heard a lot of that from a lot of you in Houston. And you'd come up to me and you say, I have my Cutie frame, but I haven't set it up yet. Well, I want to encourage you to get that Cutie frame out of the box because it will really help you with your quilting. If you find push quilting, pushing your fabric through the throat of the machine, hard to do, this is going to free you up. It's going to help manage your fabric so that now you're moving the machine across the quilt to quilt. So she asked, okay, she had a Janome, what was that? 15,000 machine, and she wanted to know if it was too big. No, it's not. Now, it's got a wider head on it. It's not as narrow as this little rebel head. So you need to position it so it sits just right on the carriage, and you'll use your the sewing clamps to clamp it down into place. Now, you might not be able to use the ones in the back because it might have, a little wide angle on the back, but you might be able to clip them in just slightly, okay, to stabilize it. Those sewing clamps are really important, and they help it so as it's sewing, it's not going to slip or move on the carriage. And it probably won't even that without them clamped on anyway, but just to stabilize it. So you use the sewing clamps, but what I want you to do is sit it down on the table. I want you to sit down in your adjustable height chair and look at the needle. As you're setting the height of your chair, I want you to be able to see the needle so that you can see it at all times as you're moving. So the wider the head, the harder it is to see the needle as you're quilting. Even as you're push quilting, the line side of the needle is really important so you know where you're quilting is nice and exact. So if you'll make that little adjustment on it, it's a great machine, sews beautifully. So just make those adjustments and know what you're looking for and how to set it so that you have a great experience. So you're not tilting your head. I don't want you to get really sore right here and right here so you can see the needle straight on as much as you can. All right, and it puts it forward, okay, instead of to the side. So that's how the Cutie frames work, is instead of quilting on the side like you do with push quilting, it's forward, and so you're looking at the needle from this direction. So I'm going to move my chair, sorry, didn't mean to make that noise there, and pull it forward. And so I will be sitting here moving it across the quilt, okay? So I will move back here, Brian. Sorry to make you work really hard. So I hope that answers your question, and if you need more help and you're just trying to understand it a little better, my email is Karla with a K, K-A-R-L-A @graceframe.com. Please contact me. That's what I'm here for. I might have you take a couple of pictures. Pictures are worth 1,000 words because they help me identify, okay, this is what you need to do to set it up more correctly on your frame. Okay, so there was one at the very, very top that I didn't get to. It was Bettina Fink, and she had a really good question. She has a Cutie frame, and does she need a stitch regulator? I don't know what machine you're using, but let me just tell you a little bit about what stitch regulators do and how they are just another feature. No, you don't need a stitch regulator. Let me stipulate that. However, stitch regulation also helps free you up by eliminating an added step. So right now you're pushing on your foot pedal or turning the machine on and off and letting it go, and you have to move the fabric or the machine across the quilt to keep your stitches nice and consistent. What the stitch regulator does is it tells the machine to speed up and slow down to your movements as you're moving across the quilt, moving the machine across the quilt, and then you don't have to think about, oh, am I moving too fast? Am I going too slow? Are my stitches too big or are they too small? And that is just worth a lot to eliminate that little extra headache. So I'm going to let you decide after telling you what the stitch regulator does. Is it is worth the extra little money if it is compatible with your machine to free you up from having to move across the quilt. So and to regulate your stitches that way, because I promise you they won't be evenly regulated, and it really does help. It's a time saver, and then you don't have to think about, okay, am I moving it too fast? There's a little warning that comes on that tells you, oh, you're outrunning your machine, so slow down slightly. And so that's what stitch regulators do, and they're a great help and a great benefit. So, all right. Let's answer another one. Dawn, she's asking, what type of maintenance does the automation QCT mechanics motor need? Oh, good question, Dawn. Thank you for asking. Okay, it doesn't require a lot, but I would say the most important thing is cleaning your belts and pulling out the threads all the time. So if you will clean your belts, okay, because if you think about it, okay? It drives on a belt system. You have a belt that's across the top, mounted to your machine itself. And then, just like the carriages, okay? The carriages work on an XY system. You have a long track and a short track. So we have the belts that work the same way. We have the short belt that is mounted to the machine itself, and then a long belt that runs the length of your frame. And when you're putting your quilt on, the batting and threads can get caught and wrapped around the belts. And so when you're going, the carriage is going back and forth, guess what's working its way into the motor of the carriage? So clean your belts. Take a little piece of tape or something that's a little rough and run it across to get rid of those little batting fibers as well. I've noticed that in ours, I'm very, very up into the motor, and it'll start to seize after a while. If you will keep it clean, that's really a lot of the maintenance that you need. Clean out the dust and the lint and the fibers that you create as you're quilting. And if you will wipe it off and keep it clean, it will last you a long time. All right, the other thing is to do your updates. There's firmware updates that it'll ask you to do every once in a while. And just follow the instructions on the screen. It'll let you know when you need to do them. And that's also really important. And if you will keep those maintained, you're good to go. All right, let's get to the next question. Mandy's asking, when will the little rebel begin to ship? You weren't alone, Mandy, in asking this question. I'm super excited as well to get them out the door and shipping. Okay, we've got them in stock. They're going through them. We're waiting for this lovely table to come in, and so we can start shipping it with it, but it's going to be very soon. Before the end of this month, they'll be out the door and starting to ship. I can't give you an exact date, but one other person asked us, are we going to email you or are we going to let you know? And the answer is yes. We're going to give you a call and say, hey, your little Rebel is on its way, so that you know the time frame that it's going to be coming. And so I don't know what group you ordered it in, so the ones that have had it on order a long time, you're going to be the first ones to get it. So, and just know that. And let's keep going. Okay. Does the little Rebel have a built-in stitch regulation? Good question, Belinda. It does. And see right here, I don't know if you can see right here, there's a little window, okay? And it's called an optical sensor. And it's what senses the fabric. And so as you're moving across the quilt, it's what's regulating your stitches. Now, we had the little Rebel set up in Houston. It was greatly received, and we showed it with the automation. We let quilters quilt on it. They could sew on it. It was fabulous to see them and how excited they were to see the little Rebel in action. It works extremely well. This optical sensor has really good sensing, and even to the very last minute before we ship, we have been updating it and honing in, doing those final detailed finishes on it to make it just beautiful when you pull it out of the box and start quilting and sewing on it. So it does come with a built-in stitch regulator that works extremely well. All right, let's go to our next question. It's Shanana. And she's asking, will the QCT allow fully automated quilting with the little Rebel? Good question. Yes, it does. In fact, while we were in Houston, we had one set up with the little Rebel, and man, it sewed beautifully. This little machine here sews so nicely with the automation. And what you can do with the different levels, check them all out. And did you know the automation is on 30% this year? Not this year, sorry. This month. And it is an extremely good deal. So check out the automation, check out the different levels, different tiers. We're introducing the edge to edge. Oh my gosh, the designs were so much fun to sew out and see in Houston and show the customers. And what was also really nice is that we let the customers just walk their way through the automation, the edge to edge, and they could do it so easily. So check that out and go online and see what the automation is and the different tiers, see the different features that each tier has. Go to the website, graceframe.com, look at the automation, find the QCT6, you'll see the edge to edge, and then you can look at the Plus and the Pro. I don't want to discount the Plus and the Pro, because there's some additional features that you might want, and you might want to place a block placement, and that's with the Plus, and you might want to be able to get into designing. Right now with it 30% off, it's a great time for you to jump in and start using the automation. All right, let's go and answer another question. Where do I get the updates for the QCT? Good question. If you'll look in and you'll go up to the help on the home screen, then you'll go down to notifications. It will let you know when there's an update available. Okay, I promise it's coming. However, we've still kind of got a couple of tweaks that we need to do to finalize it, and then you can update. It will let you know, and when you update, you have to be connected to the internet to update. And we will also do a couple of videos showing you how to update very successfully to the new QCT6 versions of the software. All right, let's go back. Oh, good, more questions coming. I may not even get to these today. Okay, does Grace have other patterns we can buy for QCT5? I'm sorry to say we don't. However, there are some great websites out there. And let me tell you the file format that is really awesome to purchase with, okay? So there are certain file formats that come in and import better than others, okay? And the file format is QLI. That's a really good one. Or CQP. That is also a good one. So when you're out there looking, find those two file formats. It doesn't matter which one. I tend to like CQP better than QLI, but anyway, either of those two will work really well when you purchase them. However, when you update, okay, to QCT6, okay, and that's just an update for all those who have Beginnings and Pro, you will get the features, you will get access to all those edge-to-edge designs that come in the new edge-to-edge version of the software. And when I set it up, I'm going to show you where to find them and how to access them for the other two tiers. So those, you'll get 100 and so I think 10, 15 something new designs that you can access when you update. All right, let's go on. Okay, Rhonda C, she says, in Zone Manager, I have a 16X Elite. It is set on 95. I have beginnings and that number will not adjust. Is that okay? No. Let's get it adjusted. Oh wait, it might be, okay, because beginnings you can only do quilt 2 rows at a time. So that's a good question, and I will have to get back to you on that, okay? Rhonda, if you don't mind emailing me this question so I don't forget it, it's Karla with a K, K-A-R-L-A at graceframe.com. I want to get to know what it means in the beginnings for you, and I just don't have that answer right now. And so it might be that it is at 95% for the beginnings just because you can only quilt 2 rows, but I'm not sure. So I'll get back to you on that. Please email me so that we can get that answered and so that we both have a better understanding of how that works in the beginning software. And the beginnings will change to plus, so don't let that confuse you, all right? It's just we kind of do that to you every once in a while. But the beginnings will change to plus, but we'll still have the Pro software, and then we'll have the edge-to-edge. So the edge-to-edge will be just edge-to-edge designs. Then we have the beginnings, which changes to plus, and it's where you can quilt 2 rows of pantographs at a time. And then you can also use the select and sew, where you can place block patterns and triangles and all different sorts of block designs onto your quilt. And then the Pro, you can have the access to pattern CAD, you have access to quilt CAD, and also you will get several different versions of panto placements, so that you can use either one of them. So you get Power Panto, Easy, and Basic modes. So yeah, check those out online. Okay, now's a great time. Peggy, she's asking, will the Little Rebel work comfortably in the hoop of the Evolution frame? It is a large hoop. Yes, you're right, it is, compared to the Cutie frame, and I'm concerned for my back having to lean over the rail. She has a Cutie. What's nice about the Evolution frame is that you can adjust the height. And if you like to sit down, it makes it a little more adjustable than on your Cutie frame. Now, it's also going to be giving you the span, a little larger span. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with that in your back, then you might be just fine. However, it's the next step up, and you can also extend that to a 12-foot frame when you have room. So there are pros, and I don't even want to say that there are cons. So there are a lot of pros to it, but it is a taller frame. It seems taller, but you can adjust it so that you can sit down and sit very comfortably, and put your hands on the rails and move it across the quilt. You will need the top plate with the handles so that you can move it across the quilt, and that might be a little more comfortable than sitting out here with the current Cutie and moving it across in the front where you're sitting a little further away. Let's do a couple of videos and show you what that looks like, and we'll plan on doing that in the future and showing you all the ins and outs of how this Little Rebel can change your life, along with the different style of frames that you'd be using it on. All right, and now we have another question. What does advanced placement mean in QCT? Good question. Advanced placement means that you can quilt one row of a design and then pick another totally different design and place it all the way down. So you could have several different edge to edges on each row. So that's the difference with an advanced placement. And then Elaine says, hi, when will they be shipping? And I'm guessing, we're talking the Little Rebel. In the next 2 weeks, we'll get the first shipments out. And so they will be shipping very, very, very soon. Okay, so let me get to my list of questions right here. One was, how do we know that the pre-order for the Little Rebel will ship? Will we get an email? You'll get a phone call. All right, not just an email, but a phone call. And then if you've ordered it directly from us, we will be sending you your tracking information and everything through email. But you will get a phone call, and your dealers will be getting a phone call as well. And so contact your dealer and ask them to let you know when their group will be shipping, okay? And then we have another one that says, I'm interested in purchasing a Cutie frame for my brother, PQ 1500 SL. Does it come with the clamps and the bungees, or do I have to add them on? Yes, it does come with all the clamps and the bungees that you need, okay? It does not come with the bungee side clamps, okay? But it comes with the little clips. So the Cutie Breeze comes with the clamps to hold the fabric down on the poles and the clips to hold the fabric as you're moving and rolling. So know that, but that bungee clamps for the side tension, they are in addition, an additional accessory. I'm sorry, I talk so much in Houston that I'm a little tongue-tied. I apologize. Okay, so Gabrielle, she's asked, why do I have trouble with thread breakage when stitching from right to left? Good question, because I had a couple of these questions that in Houston, and we had a big long conversation. Okay, so most of your machines, in fact all of your machines, okay, we write and read left to right. Our machines like to sew left to right. They just do. However, they should sew from right to left. So a couple of things for you to look for is check the tension. Make sure that you're threaded correctly on your machine, and also as you're threading your machine, pull the threads. If you feel a little catch on the threads, it might be a slight little burr somewhere along this line here, okay? That little burr would be okay going one direction, but it might catch and kind of shred the thread going the other direction, so check that. Also, check your alignment of your needle. The eye of the needle should be straight on. If it's turned one direction or the other, that could cause thread breakage. Now, you might say, oh man, I have my needle end correct. I know I do, and everything's just nice and perfect. Okay. You also need to check that you floss between the disc as you're pulling it through. That makes a huge difference. And if your thread's wrapped around something a couple of times, that makes a difference. These machines are, long arm machines, and they like to have the correct threading all the way through. So if you're having a struggle, just loop it in one of these and bring it straight down so it's not wrapped around, and try it that way. But make sure it's threaded correctly, make sure you're pulling it through, make sure the eye of the needle is straight on. I saw a lady do this in class where she took another needle and she put the point of the needle right in the hole, and that let her know it was lined up, either off just a slight little bit, and she could adjust it nice and straight. So you might want to try that. If the little needle magnet alignment tool isn't working for you, try that as well. But I promise you, it's something to do with along the threading path that's why it's breaking. And it's probably not the thread because it's not breaking the other direction. So there's something that we need to fix along the way going from right to left. So if that doesn't fix it, and if you can't catch what's going on, then email me and we'll work through it together. Now, because I love a good mystery and I like to work through it so that we can fix it together. All right, is there a 1/4 inch foot that will fit on my little Rebel? And I suppose that you're asking, and I don't know how you want to use it. Is it a square foot that you want to use? If not, we have our ruler foot that's a 1/4 inch away. We also have our Wonder foot that you can measure, that it's 1/4 inch. I'm not quite sure what you're wanting the 1/4 inch for, but if Adrian, if you want to email me, I would love to get a little more into it and understand what you need so that I can explain a little bit better about our different feet and how they work. So email me, it's Karla with a K, Karla @graceframe.com, and I'd like to understand a little bit more, and I will probably be emailing you because you already have emailed us, so to find out a little bit more about that. All right, so Marilyn, she's asking what machine oil is recommended. Just use regular sewing machine oil. You can buy it at the store. You can get it at the sewing stores and get it and just put a little drop. So this is what I'm going to say is you want to oil your hook regularly, okay? And then I want you to take your little brush and oil your needle bar right here. And then let it run for just a minute to work that oil in. Oil your machine regularly, especially if you're sewing or if you're quilting. They're working really hard and they love that oil. They get a little dry, and even in the areas, so I live in a dry state and it needs it a little more than in the humid state. So just make sure you're oiling regularly, even your home sewing machines. Promise me that you will give them the love and the care that they deserve. All right, so let me answer this last couple of questions. She says, Emily has been waiting forever for a little Rebel, and again, she's wondering when they're going to ship. Very, very soon. In the next little while, before the end of the month, you will start seeing emails and getting phone calls about the little Rebel and its shipping. And Stephanie, she's just joining us online, and she says, can you piece with this 1/4 inch foot? Maybe that's what you're asking. All right. The little Rebel does come with a 1/4 inch foot, and it comes with 3 feet. Well, it comes with a zipper foot and what we call a walking foot, and another, it's a 3/8 inch foot. So you've got a lot of different feet with this, and it does come with the 1/4 inch foot for piecing. I didn't even think about that. It's so quilting mode that I forget about the sewing mode. So yeah, it does. It comes with the 1/4 inch, and it's exactly a 1/4 of an inch. Okay, Dawn's asking another great question. I have QCT5. Will updates give me QCT6? Yes, it will, and you will get access to those edge to edge, and it will change your beginnings, whatever you're at. So if you have beginnings right now, when you update, it will be changed to plus. If you have Pro, it will be QCT6 Pro. If you don't have it and you're just getting into the edge to edge, you won't even have to worry about Plus or Pro. You'll just see QCT6 edge to edge. And it is awesome and a lot of fun. All right, and Hillary's asking, I've seen the Cutie Breeze has an improvement on the clips on the back bar. Will these be available to purchase separately? Yes, they will. So you absolutely, if you don't like the straps, which I kind of like, so it's personal preference, the clips will be available for you. You will have to change out the clamps on it to these clips, but yeah, you'll be able to get them. And we're ordering extra if you like that process. So anyway, I hope we've answered all your questions. Keep them coming. You know my email, I've given it about 3 or 4 times here, but please, I want to hear from you. I want to help you. That's what we're here for. And we'd love to see what you're working on and what you're doing out there and how you're using our wonderful tools, our machines, our frames. You are so talented and so gifted, and we are just blessed to have such a great group of quilters and sewers out there. So talented. I don't think there's another group that is more talented out there. So thank you for joining me today, and I will, at Annie, I don't know how much they will be, okay? But we will let you know. They will be online, and Yeah, we will let you know. And Mandy says she likes the straps. Me too. Anyway, you know, go figure. There are a lot of different ways to quilt, and we are so individuals, and we like the way we like to quilt, and you guys have some great insights that I might not have, so please send them my way. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.